Have you ever looked at a chessboard, knowing there's a strong move hidden in plain sight, but no matter how hard you stare, you just can't see it? You've watched grandmasters play, you've studied openings, solved puzzles, yet when it's your turn, everything feels unclear. That's because chess isn't just about knowing moves, it's about how you think. Grandmasters don't just play better moves, they see the game in a completely different way. But what if you could start thinking like them? What if, instead of guessing, you could train your brain to find strong moves naturally, just like they do? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. By the end of this video, you'll have a new way of approaching the game, one that will make everything feel clearer, sharper, and more controlled. Let's get into it. Grandmasters see patterns, not just pieces. When you sit down for a game, what do you see? Your pieces, your opponent's pieces, maybe some threats. But to a grandmaster, it's like reading a book. They don't just see individual letters, they see words, sentences, entire ideas forming in real time. They're not calculating every move from scratch. They recognize patterns instantly. Forks, pins, discovered attacks. They don't have to think about them, they just see them. And that's the first step to thinking like a grandmaster. You need to train your brain to recognize these patterns automatically. Instead of memorizing openings like a robot, start asking why those moves work. Instead of just solving puzzles, break them down. Why was this tactic possible? What mistake led to it? It's not about remembering moves, it's about rewiring your brain so that when you see a position, you already know what ideas are in the air. The one question that changes everything: most players make their move and then see what their opponent does. But grandmasters, they flip that process entirely. Before making a single move, they ask one simple question: what does my opponent want to do? Because here's the truth, chess isn't just about playing good moves, it's about stopping your opponent from playing theirs. The moment you start thinking this way, your game transforms. Next time you play, don't just think about your move. Before touching a piece, stop and look at your opponent's last move. Ask yourself, why did they play that? What are they trying to do? Once you start recognizing your opponent's plans before they even happen, you stop blundering into traps. You stop reacting and you start controlling the game. How grandmasters instantly know who's winning. You ever watch a grandmaster game and the commentators say, "Oh, white is much better here," and you're sitting there thinking, how? It's because they've trained themselves to evaluate positions in seconds. They don't have to count every piece or run deep calculations. They already know what matters. It's about looking beyond material. Who has better piece activity? Whose king is safer? Who controls the center? These things matter more than just having an extra pawn. And once you start evaluating positions like this, you'll know when to attack, when to defend, and when to trade, even before you start calculating. How grandmasters find the best moves without overthinking. One of the biggest myths in chess is that grandmasters think 20 moves ahead. They don't. They just know what not to calculate. Instead of looking at every single possible move, they only consider a few good options. Then they go deeper on those. That's why they don't blunder. They're constantly filtering out bad moves before they waste time on them. They don't get lost in endless calculations. They focus on what matters. Next time you play, try this. Instead of staring at the board and panicking, limit yourself to just 2 or 3 moves that actually make sense. Think about those moves deeply instead of randomly jumping between ideas. You'll be shocked at how much easier it is to find strong moves when you're not drowning in unnecessary calculations. Why grandmasters don't panic under time pressure. Ever notice how grandmasters almost never lose on time? Even in blitz, even in bullet, they always seem to have just enough time to find the best moves. That's not because they're faster, it's because they manage their time better. They play their opening moves quickly, because why waste time on something you already know? They only slow down when the position demands deep calculation, and when they're low on time, they don't panic. They trust their intuition, make practical moves, and keep the game going. If you're constantly losing games because of time pressure, it's not your speed, it's your time management. Play quickly in positions where the moves are obvious. Save your time for when you actually need to think, and never ever let the clock dictate your emotions. How to stop tilting after mistakes. Let's be real, tilt is a real thing. You blunder a piece and suddenly your mind goes blank. You're frustrated, you start rushing, and before you know it, the game is over. But here's the thing, grandmasters make mistakes too. The difference? They recover instantly. Instead of spiraling, they immediately shift their mindset. Okay, I blundered. What's my best chance now? Can I create counterplay? Can I complicate the position? Can I set a trap? Because the game isn't over until it's over. And if you can learn to stay calm after a blunder, you'll start saving games that you used to lose instantly. Thinking like a grandmaster starts today. If you take just one thing from this video, let it be this: chess isn't about memorizing moves. It's about training your mind to see the right ideas faster. Stop thinking like a club player who just reacts to moves. Start thinking like a grandmaster who controls the game from move one. Recognize patterns. Always ask what your opponent wants. Trust your intuition. Manage your time. And most importantly, importantly, stay calm, even when things go wrong. If you start applying this today, your chess thinking will change. And soon enough, you won't just be playing moves, you'll be playing like a grandmaster. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe for more chess breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one.